welcome to another edition of the glittering/glittery bones of advertising. Nice to see you two on board.
We're here. Happy day, nondescript day or time.
Happy, joy, happy, joy. Yeah, look, one of my favorite things is Google Chrome. I really enjoy it. I don't know why, but I just love it. It's just something that I find myself from time to time using the lens, often to tell me what something is, or usually to get a description to sell something that I bought that I really didn't need. I often use it for that too. Like, what was that? And then you put your little lens over it and it tells me, oh, that's a this, and this, and here's like what it's worth across all different things. So look at you two looking puzzled. What do you mean? Yeah, right.
What lens?
Yeah, so basically you hold up Googs and there's a little thing that brings up your camera and you take a photo of it and then Google tells you what it is.
Yes. Didn't know about that function, but there's also, which is probably same, that you can drag and drop an image into the search.
Yeah, I've seen that on that catfishing show.
Yes.
But nonetheless, let's take a little peek at this and tell me what you think. See, for me, POV of the phone or tablet or whatever it is, so good. I love it. I'd love to see me interact with my phone. I think that would be so funny.
Forward-facing camera is always like notoriously just
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't hide anything from a forward-facing camera. It's not lie to you. It completely tells the truth.
It's good though. You can take angles. So anything that, that may have slipped over the journey, you can just go up higher. So it doesn't look like it's down. You can just work the angles. It's such a good thing.
It's not very professional with the forward-facing camera.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of selfie by me. I love it. If you don't love you, who else is going to love you?
Oh,
right?
That's really insightful. I love that. Get that on a t-shirt.
It's pretty normal, I think, isn't it? If you don't like you. Anyway, let's talk about a fabulous ad. I thought the casting was brilliant too. I really liked the talent in it. And, I think it was good. It gave all of the right cues as well. It's something that was relatable. It gave me an emotional response. I thought the brand was delivered really well as well. I thought that there was no mistaking who it was for, and it gave me a chuckle. I think it was all of the things that would help me go, fuck, if I'm going to choose a browser, it's going to be this one, and it's because of this, or this.
Correct.
Loved it. Really good.
I think it spoke to an annoyance that everyone has. Like we all are there being like, what the fuck is this password? And the worst is when you go to reset your password and you use that password that you thought it was. And it's like, you can't use that.
You can't use the same.
No, it's password.
Yeah.
I think though the sticking point for me was the 287 passwords. That's where it fell short for me. I found that unbelievable that you would have 187 different passwords.
But was it realistic or was it just a pun? Was it just being cheeky? I would tell you without a word of doubt, across all of the stuff with work and home, there would be a lot of passwords. I don't know the exact number, probably not 287, but there would be a lot, a hell of a lot.
If you Google the average number of passwords that people have, it sits about 70 to 80. So I think
that's enormous and ridiculous.
But that's what I mean. I was like, I feel like they stretched the truth a little bit too far. Like that bit didn't resonate with me. I was like, 287, like no one has that many. But all
it was comedic. I didn't take it as factual.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're the oracle of truth. Maybe.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Everything you search is true? Come off it, Ronald.
I don't know. That I think everything else was so on point that was just the bit that I was kind of like, oh.
Yeah, okay, good point. That's
weird.
good. Do you reckon it would have been better for you if they had said the average Muppet has 50 passwords?
Totally. Because like who
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
use the
Okay.
same password for like 90% of their login?
I can take that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, that was the only thing. Other than that, I love
Yeah,
So-
good. Gabalo.
I thought it was a really great example of an ad where no VO is required and you can still get the story across and tell the story, which was cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound a little bit like my mum. Yeah.
In a good way.
Backstory, my mum is like super cyber security savvy, like doesn't even do internet banking, like very
doesn't trust.
Yeah, very untrusting. And I've probably inherited some of that. So I thought it was like really interesting because I think a lot of the reason that people don't use Chrome is because of that negative connotation of they're tracking your activity and Google is storing all your data. Yeah. And thought it was really interesting that they're trying to sell using Chrome based on the fact that they're storing your passwords. I thought that was like a bit, for someone like me, I'm a bit like, that makes me not want to use Chrome. And I'm sure there are other people out there who are just as loopy as me and my mum. But also the added perspective of it being from the phone's perspective reminds me of all that stuff we've heard over the years of, you know, hide your webcam, like hide your internal phone camera because they're taking footage of you. It's sort of like brought through some of those negative.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, different perspective, like, but
the truth, like the
trust issue
in sight. Like it's that whole idea of like we're showing you what we're doing.
With your data,
lying to you, but like
they're trying to say we're using your data to help you, not hinder you. But yeah, I think
like I'm a Google Chrome user and I don't use the saved passwords.
No.
Same. Neither do I.
So like, you know, that kind of, what does that say about it as well? Like we're all saying.
But you know what I do love? Like you guys might love this as well. You know, I only have to put in anything that I type in. I put a C for my first name and then up comes the rest of my email address. And I love that. I'm happy to do my passwords, but that just is, it's like just heaven because the amount of times I have to sign into stuff, you know, on a daily basis, whether it's this, that, or the other, and just go boom, and then it's up. I'm like, click, boom, and then just like, I love that. That's so good.
But I also love things like you can save your credit card details now through Chrome.
Yeah.
And it autofills those. I don't do that and I wouldn't. And password.
Same with Apple Pay.
You need
Apple Pay PC and you pay with Apple Pay, click paid.
Yeah.
It's a help and a hindrance, I guess. I don't know. It's like when Apple brought out like the number memory that it brings across from like your messages. That is fucking brilliance. Like that was a game changer. But then, like you say,
what do you mean? What's the number memory?
Like, you know how you might be paying something and like the NAB will send you a code that you need to put in.
Yes. Yeah.
And that will like the keyboard will like pick it up for you, and it's like it will like paste the code,
so you're
even having to retrieve it. So it's like, I don't know, how vulnerable do you become from laziness? Perhaps.
Well, clearly, you must become somewhat vulnerable, but I think the good thing about that analysis is there's a broad array of components to it that gave us different feelings to the ad. So, you know, I think in summation of it, it's interesting that you felt the untruth perhaps was what let them down. Whereas Gabs, you're like, I don't want you seeing my shit. Like that was, you know, that was your response to it. And me, I'm just like all dreamy and starry. I'm just like, I love Google as much as I love Apple. So
I'm the pessimist over here.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that something so simple, like you say, can garner so many different reactions.
Yeah.
When you think,
so. I just think for me, POV stuff where it's comedic just fills me with, because I mean, I see, bless him, my dad, who's 82, who sent me his new iCloud email address today. I'm just like, fucking go you. Like at 80, sorry, he's 81, not 82, but like at 81, rocking his iCloud email because his TPG, he's like, nah, it's no good. I don't like that one anymore. So he's rocked over to something else. But the whole point of it is like, I just think you either embrace it or you don't. Like, there's an element of really sort of immersing yourself in it. But again, like there's that element of, fuck, how much do they really know about you and your stuff and your junk, like
everything. But it's
yeah.
so unavoidable because like even things that you have to do, like pay your council rates, pay your rego, get a passport, like there's you have to give your data away regardless.
Yeah.
Like you don't own any of your data really anymore. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well,
like
it leads us to something.
anyway, so
leads us to a question. And
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an interesting response to this question as well. Let's hear it from you, Bertle the Turtle.
well, I guess on the back of my reaction to the ad and the truth or the untruth that perhaps was seeded in it to, push the story further, when or is it ever okay to stretch the truth in order to tell a good story or to sell a product or to get more customers or to get more likes or clicks or anything?
Well, hold on. They're very different things. So, Gabaloo, let's start with you.
Do you let the truth get in the way of a good campaign?
So that's different to where you went when you trailed with that, because you answer, Gabs, and then I'll pose some questions around that, because I think from a comedic point of view is very different to what you're doing from an authentic point of view. So
Yeah.
I guess
what did you think
relative to advertising and campaigning, like to what
relative to that ad?
Oh, relative to that ad, I think that what they did was fine. That was from a comedic element point of view. But if they were going out with a data point that has to be substantiated, so we all know if we're putting a TVC out, that's got to go through clear ads and certain things have to be substantiated.
This is on the TV, though. Hold on. This is on the TV. So they would have had to have substantiated that fact, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be the
I reckon
way
they would have. They would have
they've
had to.
phrased it.
Yes, because I've seen it on watching the footy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
come
on
up.
TV. 100%.
Definitely on TV. So they would have to have substantiated that fact. If they're going to deliver a number, it would have to be substantiated, I'm sure.
Well, they don't. The thing is, in the ad, don't quote me on this because I can't remember it like off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they don't say on average Australians have X amount of passwords. They say you have. So that's not a claim that needs to be substantiated because you're not saying an average just statistical data point. They're not saying
maybe you're right.
The most blah 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 or the highest.
Whereas if they had said, the average Australian has blah, 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 that would have had to be accurate and substantiated. But I think the whole thing comes down to false advertising. If you're going out there and making a claim that is completely false, it's just going to come back to bite you in the bum anyway. You might get new customers or more money off the back of it, but those claims prove to be inaccurate or untrue of the service offering that you're providing, then you lose all of those and cop bad feedback in throughout the journey as well. So,
well, I think this the answer to the question. From a comedic point of view, I think it would be great to be able to do it, but I think, like we've just touched on, from a substantiation point of view, I don't think you can, unless it's done perhaps in a way, and maybe the way they scripted that, and it was only on screen, but perhaps that particular person can say that I had 287, I don't know what the exact number was, passwords, I don't know. But I think it'd be pretty crappy if we can't have a bit of a joke. In what we do, you can't poke a bit of fun and take the piss in advertising. I think, there's so much politically correctness in everything we do now that I feel, being in a position where we can't get a pun out and have a giggle and, take the piss, I think would be an ordinary advertising world in my view.
All right.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. I don't think. I think you need to have fun. And like we've touched on and being serious, yes, if it's to do with, I don't know, like a medical procedure or something that's not inherently needing comedic value or humor to it. Like, don't lie about the fucking survival rate of some pill for cancer. No, don't do that. But I think there's, like Craig saying, you need to have fun, and like you need to stray a little bit, and we're storytellers and we're allowed to kind of fluff. I think there's fluff. We can be fluffy. That's okay.
Yeah.
Just as long as you don't hurt anyone, I guess, is the main thing. If your moral compass is in the right direction and you're not hurting anyone, by all means, fluff. Go for it. Fluff, 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 fluff.
Interesting. I mean, it's one of those questions where I looked at it initially and thought, so of course we want to have fun. But then when you think, the what you have to substantiate any claim that goes to air, then, it does have a different flavor and a different bent on it. But, that is the question, isn't it?
That is one of the hardest questions in advertising.
Well, you two absolute legends. That is another edition of the Bones of Advertising. Don't go changing. We'll be back real soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye.